Hello all, this is Cinematic Breakdown and I will be your omnipotent voice for the evening. Today I want to talk about women in movies, but more specifically, I want to analyze society's views on women in lead roles as opposed to men, and why I disagree with much of what most people say regarding it. Most people are under the impression that there aren't more women in lead roles because society doesn't like strong women. Society doesn't like seeing women succeed and does like seeing them helpless, defenseless, likes making men look good and women bad, men strong, women weak, men are saviors, while women only exist to be rescued. I believe that the actual answer is both more simple and more complex. The problem is not that society doesn't care about women and cares about men. The problem is the opposite. It cares a lot about women, but is absolutely neutral towards men. Let's shift the topic to something else for a moment. Let's talk about animals. Let's talk about dogs. There's a very real and also fairly well-known phenomenon where people do not like seeing dogs get hurt in movies. This, right here, no matter how important to the plot, no matter how well written, well directed, well shot, well acted, there are many people who will stand up and walk right out of the theater over this. They'll change the channel. At the very least, they'll say, "Oh fuck no, I'm not cool with this, you don't fucking hurt dogs." It seriously, deeply, and very legitimately hurts people when they see you hurt a dog. And conversely, society very much likes people who help and protect dogs. So much so that it's actually become a trope used to make characters who are otherwise absolute bastards good by showing them helping a dog. Show them help a dog, and suddenly everyone's all, "Oh, they're not that bad." And this effect takes place in other ways too. For instance,
Get right in here. Yeah, you got this gun? You think you're gonna do something with that gun?
You got it out for me.
Hey! Whoa! No,
What?
come here. We don't steal from women. Get over here. You take that side. Give me your hand.
I'm so sorry about that. I apologize.
Now you feel good to kill a mother and a kiss, huh? Now you feel big, like you big man. Well, fuck you. What do you think I am? You think I killed 2 kids and a woman? You die, motherfucker!
think about this scene here.
Stark? He doesn't seem happy. Hello, Hank.
You were instructed to go to Russia. May I remind you, Dr. Pym, that you're a soldier and...
I'm a scientist.
Then act like one. The Pym particle is the most revolutionary science ever developed. Help us put it to good use.
Let you turn me into your errand boy, and now you try to steal my research?
If only you'd protected Janet with such ferocity, Dr. Pym.
Easy, Hank.
You mention my wife again, and I'll show you ferocity.
Don't look at me, you said it.
This is the hero of the story, and this is the comic moment in which he gives someone what for, and oh boy, I am glad this guy violently assaulted someone for being rude. That was hilarious. I really like this guy. Now, think about how you'd react to that scene if his boss was a woman. Through nothing more than recasting the actor as female, suddenly this is no longer a good guy, and this is no longer funny. The comedy? Gone. The support for our hero? Gone. This character could have been a woman, and it would have been a major role in a major film and been great for helping along equal representation and much more. But because of how much society cares about women, they would not have abided one being treated like this. You simply could not have had this scene with a female actor playing the boss, and if you did, then the audience would have received it completely differently. It's because people don't care about men that you can and have this work both as a joke and character development showing our hero being a good person. It's not that society doesn't like women, it's that it really likes women, and it very much hates to see them hurt. However, in order to be a hero, you absolutely have to get hurt, and this is the problem. Part of the hero is getting your ass kicked. Remember The Matrix? Imagine this scene with a female Neo. Okay, so here is what I'm going to be doing instead of showing you the clip from The Matrix, which I was just talking about. The reason I'm doing this is because The Matrix decided to copyright strike me for showing a 1-minute clip, And in that copyright strike, what they did was they, one, monetized this unmonetized video, and two, claimed all monetization for the entire video for themselves. So I'm now removing that clip and re-uploading the video along with another clip, which I'll be explaining later. And so I'm now going to describe the scene that I had originally had in the clip. It is the scene from the interrogation room where it just starts off with Neo sitting in a chair being interrogated by two FBI agents. What they do is Neo is speaking too much and they don't want him to. They want him to shut up and do what he's told. So what they do is they use Matrix powers. It's hard to explain. If you haven't seen The Matrix, go watch The Matrix. Well, maybe pirate The Matrix because fuck them at this point. But what happens in it is basically his mouth is erased. The top part of his mouth fuses to the bottom, the two fuse together, and then once fully fused, his mouth is gone. Which, considering the way people talk about stealing someone's mouth as part of, stealing their ability to speak, I thought was actually kind of a point to make, because telling a woman to shut up, stop speaking is sort of one of those trigger words among these sort of things, because many women feel they don't have a voice. So having a scene where an authority figure literally takes away a woman's mouth hits very, very, very hard in a way that doing the same thing to a man does not hit the same way. To a man, it's more of just like, oh no, this is fucked up. To a woman, it hits that extra edge, which is why I use this scene specifically to demonstrate this. Unfortunately, you're getting this instead because they are assholes. Fuck them. Anyway, I'm going to stop speaking now and let you get back to the video. You can probably find this clip. It's a very famous scene from a very famous movie. You've probably seen it. If you haven't, just Google or YouTube, maybe whatever. Interrogation scene, The Matrix, from the first Matrix. You'll see what I'm talking about. In the last James Bond movie I saw, he was stripped naked, tied to a chair, and had his genitals tortured. You think audiences are going to want to watch that happen to a woman? And that's the thing. It's not that people like men. It's that they don't care. Because people don't care. They can get beaten, kicked, harassed, hit, hurt, and it doesn't matter. When a woman gets hit, people think, oh no, that poor woman. Why is this happening? Someone do something. When a man gets hit, people just wonder what's going to happen next. It doesn't pull them out of the story. It doesn't make them want to get up and leave the theater or go write an angry review about how dare you make them watch a man get beaten. And this is the point I want to make today. If you want more women to have major roles, then you have to not be offended at the mere idea of a woman being brutalized. In writing, there's a term called Mary Sue. What this is when you make a character perfect. Not perfect as in, this is a very well-written character, but perfect as in, they're super smart, super brave, super generous, super cool, and super ambitious, super honest, super everything you wish you were. Mary Sues are over-idealized, over-perfected, over-sanitized. The reason this happens varies greatly. Originally, they were a term used to describe when a writer put themselves into the story as the perfect embodiment of who they wish they were. But instead of working on plot or character development, they would just have example after example of why their character was so great, often leading to a boring, pointless, dull story. Another reason this sort of character is created is social justice. When made for this reason, there are two shades of Mary Sues. For the first one, in movies, it is fairly common for people to think that everything represents everything. If there's a character who's a doctor, they are a stand-in for all doctors. If there's an athlete, they're a stand-in for all athletes. If a character's black, they're every black person. If they're gay, they're every gay person, and so on and so forth. Now, in my opinion, if someone says a woman has a flaw, or writes a female character that has a flaw, and your reaction is to take that as meaning that all women have this flaw, then to me, that means that you believe all women are the same. If you saw them as individual people with distinct, separate personalities, thoughts, ideas, opinions, points of views, experiences, then you would not make that leap of judgment. However, many people do make this leap of judgment, and so out of fear of being seen as sexist, film studios have been working to make their female leads flawless. But flawless characters are boring. They're flat. one-dimensional, predictable, and in the vast majority of cases are literally incapable of undergoing character development, a major factor in any character in the story they're in. The second kind of social justice Mary Sue is the opposite of this one. Instead of making a Mary Sue out of someone for fear of being called a racist, sexist, homophobe, etc., they're made into a Mary Sue specifically to lift them onto a pedestal and show them off. Sort of like a company that's 99% white giving a big promotion to a black employee, and that promotion comes to the big cushy office right in front of a big clean window that has "This black fellow is in middle management" written on it, so everyone who walks past in the street can notice. There are many examples of this character in film and TV. There was a massive trend for a long time where the only black man in the film would sacrifice himself to save the day. Film after film of companies shouting, "Hey, look at our minority character. They're not a thief or a gangster. They're super smart and have the strongest moral code you've ever seen. They're skilled and deep and full of wisdom and are completely selfless," and blah, 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 blah. If this character is the lead, then they're generally considered a Mary Sue. But usually they are a supporting character and go by a different name. You may have heard of some of them. There's the magical Asian, the magical girlfriend, the magical queer, and the most famous of all, the magical Negro. That smart, honest, hardworking, wizened old poor man who knows everything about everything and gives it all to the lead character to help them succeed in their time of need. Obviously, the racism here isn't hard to spot. The sentence, "Our black character is highly intelligent and kind and caring," implies a second half to that sentence, which goes, "unlike all the others." And this is a double-edged sword. If they are being treated as separate from the group, then the implication is that they are good despite being a member of said group. If they are treated as part of the group, then it flattens the group down to a single type of person, and then either reinforces an existing stereotype or creates a new one with problems all its own. However, there is a way to fix this, and that is to forget it. When you think about people as belonging to a certain type of group, then you create a question. Are they good despite being a member of the group, or because of it? It has to be one or the other. But both of these ways of thinking do not take into account the individuality of the person themselves. The way you get around the problem is not by solving it. It is by not asking the question in the first place. When a character goes from being black to being a person who is black, then they go from being a stereotype to an individual. Even if they portray personality traits or mindsets associated with that group, they do not like X because they are black. They are black, and also they like X. It's two separate character traits. By not asking if it's despite or because, then we separate ourselves from the idea that being a member of a group defines you as a person. Both options, despite or because, are rooted in the idea that they're all the same. The only difference being, are there exceptions to that rule? But the rule is the same for both. And so by merely asking the question, you automatically reinforce stereotypes. Creating flawless Mary Sues does not improve representation. It continues to misrepresent, just in a different fashion. Think about beauty. How have women reacted to having what many refer to as the standard of how they're supposed to look set this high? Nearly everyone agrees that portraying women as flawless beings of perfection just made everyone who wasn't flawless, which is most people, hate themselves. This is exactly why in fashion lately there's been a massive trend towards real-looking women. Women who are taller or shorter, fatter or thinner, embracing flaws instead of hiding them. No more cookie-cutter, this is how a woman should look. And instead, these are the many ways a woman could look. And Mary Sues are just the film and TV version of these over-sanitized, supermodel, unrealistic misrepresentations. Good characters are dirty. Good characters get scrapes and cuts, they get yelled at and demeaned, they break, bend, fall apart, and fail. Just as an example, let's take a look at the ending of Rambo, the lead character of which was one of those super unstoppable, muscle-on-muscle, hardcore, kill-em-all, male power fantasies, master of all weapons who feels no pain, knows no fear, and entire armies of highly trained police officers could not even slow him down as they were slaughtered like children. And remember, this is the conclusion that the entire story has been building towards. Okay, hi, hello, me again from the future. I'm interrupting this video to let you know that here's where I was going to show the clip from the conclusion of Rambo to demonstrate exactly the point I was trying to make in this video about me making a point about writing techniques, comparing how women and men are treated differently. And I thought this was a prime example to take what many people think of as the perfect example of toxic masculinity and show that it's actually not in any way, shape, or form that, and that part of having a strong, powerful hero is having that person have weaknesses and severe flaws. And so in this was going to be the clip from Rambo at the end, where basically what happens is he has a mental breakdown, and he's just kind of falls to his knees, crying like a baby, hugging his superior officer, and weeping and crying, and, you know, just very, very, very sad and very, very, very broken. And most people haven't seen this movie, I think, nowadays. Even back in the day, it was sort of only popular among, you know, action movie buff types. So I feel like probably I won't a lot. I don't remember how I got this. For a lot of these clips, what I'll do is I'll just rent the video on Amazon or some other service. I'll pay for it, I'll rent it, then I'll screen grab it while I'm watching it, and then use that clip. So that's actually how I get most of the clips I use, is by literally renting the movie, or even in some cases I bought it. And they saw fit to copyright strike this video, and I argued against it because this is legitimately 100% exactly fair use as intended, and they disagreed. And then that's as far as I can take it, because woe is me, you know, and whatnot. And so they blocked it in every fucking country on the planet. Now, that's not exactly true, but I couldn't find it in the country I live in, and I used a VPN to go to America, and it wasn't visible there either. And then I stopped searching because I decided, fuck it, I'm just going to re-upload the goddamn video without this fucking clip. However, the clip is kind of very important to the point I was making. And so I recommend you all watch it. I'm going to see if I can find a place where you can just watch it, you know, already, probably on YouTube. Let's see if I can find a video. Rambo conclusion. I'll type that in. Rambo conclusion. Oh, here it is. Rambo Last Blood. First Blood to Last Blood. Oh, it would be First Blood, not Rambo. First Blood conclusion. Rambo. Oh shit! It's just here. I found the video. It's called First Blood Rambo Crying. So I'm going to post a link to a video in this video at the bottom. So if you want to see this scene, which I recommend you do, it's about a 5-minute long scene. And I edited down a bit, a 5-minute video down to 3 minutes. And they decided to shut down my entire goddamn video. So fuck them. Fuck that company. They can go fuck themselves. I'm re-uploading it without them. I'll include the clip so you can watch the video. Actually, I'll do that for The Matrix too. For reference, my clip that I used started showing instantly right when his mouth started changing, which looks like it's around the 3-minute and 30-second mark, and it went right up until he woke up, which is about the 4-minute and 30-second mark. So it was a minute-long clip that they decided to claim, that they decided to monetize my video against my will. They monetized it, and then they claimed all monetization. So hooray for them, the fucking assholes. You know what? I honestly wouldn't have cared if the video had been blocked. It's not my only demonetized video. It's just, this is literally absolute 100% textbook fair use. Like, legitimately, this isn't like I sampled a song and I'm trying to argue, oh, it's transformative, so that means I'm allowed to. This is literally, I am making a video talking about filmmaking techniques and using films showcasing those techniques in examples to prove my point in what I'm talking about. This is what fair use was legitimately designed for. Literally, this was textbook fair use. Fuckers. So anyway, I'm going to include this interrogation scene. The bit I had was literally from the 3:30 mark to the 4:30 mark. You can watch the whole thing if you want. Either way, I've been talking for far too long. Sorry about that. I'll probably edit this down so it won't be as long as it actually has been. But either way, please pause this video, watch the clip, and then continue on with this video. Thank you very much. And I now return you to your feature presentation. Whew. Completely flawless, that guy is. Pure strength. No weakness, no emotional hang-ups. Totally in control. Not a single place this man can improve. And he definitely doesn't want or need help from others. Absolute confidence. He's the pinnacle that all strive to be and hope to become. His life is quickly going uphill, and everyone is so impressed with his determination, power, abilities, and everything else. Jokes aside, this kind of scene is what I'm talking about. Yeah, he has a lot of impressive, in an action movie at least, qualities and abilities. But the reality is that he's straight up broken. He's broken, and those positive things that everyone knows him for are the glue that's holding the shards of his mind together. But he's crumbling at the seams. And that's the movie. We are watching a man crumble. This film, without this aspect to his character, would have been garbage. And the reason is simple. Even if it's not an action movie, even if it's a high drama full of people sitting around and talking, then they still get attacked and beaten, only verbally. Instead of their physical strength being tested, it's their moral code, their emotional determination, their mental prowess. Sometimes they're overly self-reliant, and their character development is to learn that it's okay to accept help from others. But if a female character does that, people will complain you punished her for being independent and fixed her by making her submissive. Sometimes good characters are terrible people. Can't make a female character bad, otherwise you're calling all women bitches. Sometimes a character needs to learn something. Can't have a female do that? That means they weren't smart and had to have another character save them from their own stupidity. One of the most famous examples of this in recent times has been the newer Star Wars movies. Now, I remember watching Luke learn. He was a know-nothing that had an impossible challenge in front of him. He couldn't use a lightsaber and underwent painful training. He couldn't use the Force and underwent painful training. He fought and scraped and pushed himself to exhaustion and still lost. Meanwhile, as Wikipedia describes it, Rey is highly Force sensitive. Without training, she is able to use advanced Force abilities and even defeat Kylo Ren in a duel. Whether through fear or reprisal, or to champion a movement, people have been reluctant to portray women as weak. But a hero is only as impressive as their villain. And in movies that have no villain, when it comes to character development, their villain is their weakness. Without it, there is nothing. Look at any of the amazing characters you've encountered in your life, and what I would be willing to bet is nearly every example you'll have ever encountered. You'll find that their power is balanced out with a weakness, and the stronger and more amazing there are, the worse and more detrimental that weakness is. And in their quest to display strong, powerful women, they didn't give them any weaknesses. And characters without weakness are boring. There's nothing entertaining about seeing an unstoppable Force steamroll wave after wave of enemies that can't do anything but hope their defeat is quick. This is exactly why Suicide Squad was so hated. It was just a generic clip show of low-tier mobs getting their heads caved in. No danger, no what's going to happen next, are they going to make it? And then, at the end, just when something stronger than them appears, finally a challenge that they'll have to find a way to overcome. Wait, never mind, never mind, no challenge. And yeah, the special effects look great, but the story is boring. The characters are flat, and no one cares about anything. And for men, this doesn't always happen, because no one is concerned about blowback from having a flawed male character. No one is concerned about being yelled at for making a male character weak, or having them lose or fail or get hurt, or any number of things. Because of this, anything can happen. And because anything can happen, the story can go in any direction, to any level, with full force, power, and ability in any capacity. There are no limits. In Die Hard, one of the most famous and even loved scenes is the one where the hero is cornered. Knowing they're outmatched, the villains decide, instead of risking getting shot, to attack him indirectly, raining broken glass on him and covering the floor with it. However, our hero managed to find a way to survive and keep going, but at a great cost and with extreme difficulty. This scene could never have happened with a female protagonist, because no one would ever look at a woman dragging her shredded, bloody feet through broken glass and think, wow, this is intense. I wonder what's going to happen next. No. They'd think, oh my god, that poor woman, someone do something. Why are they allowing this to happen? Who wrote this? Who made this? Why do they like watching women suffer? Anyone who likes this is sick. Honestly, take a moment and really legitimately consider how people would have reacted if John was Jen. John McClane is human. He's strong, he's determined, he's smart, he's experienced, he's powerful. But he's also afraid. He's in pain. He's in fear. He's alone, he's in need. This is the emotional journey we go on with him as the movie plays out. When you remove the suffering, you remove the emotion. And that's the thing. That's the other side of it. You can have great male characters because you can beat the shit out of them. But you cannot beat a woman. And this actively ruins women's chances of having a good characters. Look at the film Hateful Eight. A film that absolutely had an amazing female character. And they 100% treated her the exact same way they would have if she was male. The story is intense. The acting is fantastic. The tension is real. The character in question, Daisy, is awesome. She's smart, powerful, funny, tough, fearless, and much more. And she is acted fantastically by Jennifer Jason Leigh. Her performance, just hands down, outright powerful. I've actually considered doing an entire episode on just this character and Jennifer's portrayal of her. Now, remember that phenomenon I mentioned at the very beginning? About people hating movies for having scenes where dogs get hurt?
What are you doing?
Even if it's a legitimate and fully valid part of the story that actually helps the plot, builds character, and continues the emotional journey? Well, people saw a woman being treated like this and had some very strong opinions about it. Completely glossing over the quality of her performance. All they saw was, woman got hit, therefore they hate women. But this way of thinking completely tosses aside and disregards the writing, the directing, the acting, and even the very film itself. And what do you think happens to future films when the current ones are being disregarded for something? They stop doing that something. And what is that something? Hurting women. And how do they go about stopping it? One of two ways. They rewrite the role as male, eliminating women from the picture, or they rewrite the part, making the character into a flat, boring Mary Sue, reducing the role from a strong and powerful to bland and generic. Because remember, heroes need to be beaten. It is getting beaten and getting back up that makes one a hero. Even if you're the villain, it's getting beaten and getting back up that makes you appear villainous, because you have the strength to stand again. And this is a major problem for women in film, because it both lowers the number of parts for women and also makes those parts that remain less interesting. Now, to address for a moment the topic of people being saved by people, one of the first things I mentioned in the beginning of this was, in the world of film, men's penchant for saving women and women's penchant for being needed to be saved. This, too, is a result of the same problem, and is absolutely true that society likes seeing men save women. But let's break this down into smaller components for a second. Let's not talk about people saving people, and instead talk only about people being saved. I've already compared how society likes women with how society likes dogs. And we already know how society feels about people who save dogs. And that feeling absolutely transfers over to women. Watching someone save a woman, protect a woman under any circumstances, will absolutely earn them the respect of society. Both women and men enjoy seeing women helped. After all, when you care about something, it's only common sense that seeing someone care for and assist that thing you like will make you like them. However, while society looks at dogs and looks at women and feels the same thing, this does not extend towards men. Because of this, the reaction does not extend to them either. Simply watch almost any movie, and you'll see that when a man is saved, people view him as lesser. being saved makes a man a loser. In fact, most of the time a man is saved in film, it is specifically made to make him look like a loser. My reason for this is based on a combination of a few different ideas. One being that society, towards men, as I said, are neutral. If someone is positive, people want to see them succeed and be safe. If someone is negative, people want to see them fail and suffer. But neutral, if you're neutral, you can succeed, but you have to earn it. And you can fail, but you have to deserve it. Which is why, if an innocent man suffers, we feel bad. But if they're guilty, even of a small, nearly insignificant thing, then they can be punished way beyond proportion. Yet, at the same time, if they try and succeed, we feel great for them. But if they succeed without trying, either through pure luck or someone else helped them, then we despise them for having something they did not earn. All in all, society really enjoys seeing women get saved and does not care for men who get saved. Now, let's talk about not the people in need, but about those saving them. When a man saves someone, people look at him like a hero. They see him as strong and powerful and brave, and they're glad he was there to help. The reason for this is the neutrality towards men that they have. Because people don't care one way or the other about men, then they don't see a man risking himself as a problem, like wearing a dirty pair of pants to paint a house as opposed to your favorite pants. It doesn't matter if they get dirty or ripped up or messed up, you like your dirty pants. They might be comfortable and warm and awesome, but you still don't think twice about dragging them through the mud. But also, you're extremely thankful for them because they help you paint the house. And that is the balance that neutrality brings. You like it when it does good, and you don't care when it gets damaged. A great way to feel about someone stepping into danger to help others. But women are not seen as neutral by society. They are seen as positive. So when a woman saves someone, it's not like wearing a dirty outfit to paint your house or work in the dirt or whatever. It's like wearing your best outfit to change the oil in your car. People will look at you like a moron for ruining such a great outfit. And that's basically the response people get when they see a woman saving someone. They think, who failed this woman to make her have to step up? I mean, good for her for stepping up, but who the fuck wasn't doing their job that made her have to step up? Because I am not okay with that. They need to be found and punished for putting this woman at risk. Society hates seeing women get hurt. And when one steps up to be a hero, society's concern for their safety far outweighs their gratitude for the good she did. Think about it personally. Imagine if a man ran into a burning building to save someone inside. That man is a hero. Now, imagine that man is your son, or boyfriend, or father, or brother, or just someone you care deeply for. And you're watching them run into near certain death to save some stranger you've never even met. Suddenly, they're not a hero anymore. Suddenly, you don't give a shit about those strangers burning alive. You just want him to come out safe. Hell, maybe you're even mad at him for making you feel afraid and anxious over his safety, and for being stupid enough to put himself at risk. Well, that's how most of society feels about most women. They don't hate them. They love them so much they don't want to see them hurt. Doesn't matter the situation. If a woman is in danger, people fucking hate everything about it. They hate the situation, they hate the person she's going in to save, and they even hate the woman herself for putting herself in danger. So now, let's break this down point by point for the 4 options. 1. Man saves man. Good for the hero, but that loser better have been worth the trouble. 2. Woman saves man. Good for her, but fuck that guy for making that woman put herself in danger. The sniveling piece of shit, that loser better have been worth the trouble. 3. Woman saves woman. Thank God that woman was saved. I was so worried about her. But who wasn't doing their job, so that hero lady had to step up, because I'm not okay with that. And number 4. Man saves woman. Thank God that woman was saved. I was so worried about her. And this guy is awesome. He's really doing his job and doing it well. I like both of these people. This is why men are constantly saving women in movies. Because any other combination of genders results in anger. So if you want someone to save someone and for the audience to feel good about it, you really don't have much of a choice. It has to be a man saving a woman. Otherwise, there will be blowback. The closest I can come to a true analogy of this are those people who buy toys but then never take them out of the box. No one would ever even suggest that they hate those toys. They love them. We know they love them. They love them so much that they don't want to see them get broken or damaged or scratched or simply age by being touched by light or air. And that's the thing. People think the oppression of women is one of hate or disrespect. They think that society doesn't like, doesn't care about women and puts them in a box to make them suffer. But this is wrong. Society really, really seriously likes women. And it puts them in a box to keep them safe. And the reason this distinction is important is because so long as everything you do to try and solve the problem is aimed at getting society to respect women, to help women, to protect women, then their response will be to stuff women further and further into that box, seal it up tighter, hide it deeper, which will obviously feel like more oppression. And so the more you try and even succeed, the worse things get. But once you see the oppression is misguided love instead of hate, then suddenly all the problems become much more clear. And the steps taken to solve them actually have the desired effect. There is only one way out of the box, and that is to toss aside protection. Demand not to be respected, but ignored. Not to be loved, but disregarded. Not to be someone who people run towards to help and guide and hold their hands through life and keep them safe, but to be someone who people are okay with getting their fair share of scrapes. The fight is not to shift women from negative to positive, but from positive to neutral. And as we become okay with women catching their lumps, okay with women getting scraped and cut, losing, failing, suffering, bleeding, then our movies will reflect this. There will be more female heroes. There will be more and better female characters, female leads, more honest interaction between men and women as equals without one being the leader, making all the decisions and doing all the work, while the other one stays safe and protected. If I tell you a story, and in it, character X does something to character Y, your opinion should be the same regardless of X is male and Y is female, or both are either male or female, or X is female and Y is male. And when you look at a character in a film and think they're an awesome character, but then if they're female, then suddenly it's terrible and no one should watch it, well, they're not treating them with respect. You're treating them like a dog. Peace.